You know, everything in the world at the moment.
Hello, we're here.
Are we in?
Hello.
But like, if you think about it, everything is judgment these days. Everything is cancel culture. Everything is comparing each other to each other, you know, and comparison is a thief of joy. So you think about, what does Yussus really do? We're trying to connect South Africans from all over the world. We're trying to bring South Africa back to a little bit of love and compassion and empathy and things that really are needed right now in the world. Because, you know, if you just look at the events over the last weekend, there was this worldwide democracy march, and everybody's trying to strive for freedom again because they feel like they're being controlled and divided. And, you know, it's not about being political. It's about being the complete opposite and trying to bring back a bit of the love, you know. And for me, as a South African, that word Yussus is such a tangible word, you know, that it can be used in any different sentence, in any different context, you know. And like we said earlier, like from pain to shock to enjoyment to excitement to just I've had a hell of a day.
Yeah.
You know, Johnny arrived, said Yussus 5 times before he said another word.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been a hell of a day.
But it's a feel-good word when you say it. It feels good, but then also the person that hears it, it feels good for them too.
No, definitely.
That expression, that connection.
Well, definitely. And that's what I've picked up from, you know, okay, like being able to see people from different parts of the world, dating an American girl. It was, for her, like, what is this Yussus? And then when I would say it, whenever I would say it, she would repeat it, Yussus, Yussus. And then I'd just be like, it's just infectious. It's an infectious word, you know. And when you were deciding to create a clothing label out of this, you look at how the Yussus lifestyle, what the options you can get. You can get caps, you can get T-shirts, you can get golf shirts, you can get lanyards, you can get,
credit card holders.
Credit card holders on the back of the phone. There's so many different varieties that you can get it. So it links perfectly with the word.
And also the colors of the T-shirts, they're all different. There's a variety. There's like 7 designs in men's T-shirts across 9 colors.
But if you look at it also,
diversity is what we were going for when we made it.
That's exactly what I was going to say now. If you look at the 3 of us that sit in this room, we're all lucky enough to be involved in our teenage years in the Rainbow Nation, when South Africa became the Rainbow Nation. And somehow, somewhere, this country and people around the world have forgotten about this Rainbow Nation. You know, and this Rainbow Nation involves diversities, cultures from all the different 9 African languages, from Pedi, Xhosa, Shangaan, Zulu. We can go on for a while. Yeah, Sotho. You know, Venda.
Yeah.
I should have written them all down. But then you still got, besides the Afrikaans and English, think about the diversity amongst English people. You've got Jewish English people. You've got Lebanese English people, you've got Portuguese English people, Greek,
don't forget the Greeks,
Italian, you know, and you think about all the different words that have come from all these different communities, and it's been the diversity that gives us our strength, in my opinion, in this country. It's the reason why we do well in so many of our different sports. It's because you bring that diversity together and you get them all driving towards a collective, and you will get nothing but success, you know. So I don't know if you want to put your intro song on that you've had for 15 seconds.
I'm very proud of it. It took me a long time. So yeah, I just wanted to come back to the point of us, the history and why we started it, and discuss about how you were talking about the word. It's used by everyone. It's also loved by everyone, because if you remember our trip to Ireland in 2013, your nickname became Yussus But.
Yeah, well, if you think about how lucky we were, you know, to be involved with family members' marriage to an Irish girl, you know, and before I even get into the way the word came around, I'll never forget being at his wedding, and another South African guy came around to me, and he pointed out that there must have been about 5 South African guys in the room, and all 5 of them were married to Irish girls, and all 5 of those South African guys were about a 6 out of 10, but all of their wives were about a 9 out of 10. And he kept on saying to me, it's because we got an accent and a tan. And, again, and also just the way we conduct ourselves and how versatile we are as South African people. So, as I went over there, my cousin's brother-in-law kept on asking me, what is this word, Yussus Put? And it was just all the newness that I'd found in all the different things that I'd seen in Ireland, and the crazy stories that they were telling me, and the constant search for the crack, as they would call it over there, where they always just want to have a laugh. And this Yussus Put, he just started calling me Yussus Put, and never thought anything of it, and we carried on with our lives, and found myself then traveling to the Netherlands in 2016, and I was with a girlfriend at the time who was from America, and we went to go visit a friend of our family that we've known since we were kids, and he kept on saying to me, what is this word you keep saying? What is this thing you keep on mentioning all the time? What is this Yussus? And it was just became a bit of a laugh, and then he started using it, she started using it, and as South Africans, we use it all the time, every single day. I would challenge South Africans to tell me who does not use it at least once every single day. So you came about with the idea that we should use this as a bit of a clothing label. You've got a lot of history with regards to clothing. You were involved in a very controversial clothing label in the early 2000s, and it was called White Trash.
White Trash.
And, we had to move away from that because everybody in the whole world became very sensitive, as they are very sensitive right now. And then you came up with Yussus. So, I think it's been an incredible journey for you so long. 2017 you started. It's been 4 years down the line, and then you came up with this magnificent idea about having this podcast, which was...
Well, I think that came about because when I first grabbed the idea of trademarking it and becoming Yussus on a clothing label, because I've had all this experience, it was almost like the White Trash was the rehearsal, and now I was on the main stage. So every single thing, from sourcing the buttons to the trims to the labels to the prints to the fabric, I was actively involved. We had them made in Mauritius, our sister country, and it was a really awesome experience because I was able to really make right all the wrongs I had seen myself do in the White Trash days. I also decided to go online with it because retail was not... It was something that actually sank White Trash. Too much rentals, too many overheads. So I decided to take it on an online level. But in that stage of doing that, I also realized that Yussus is much more than just T-shirts. It's much more than just caps or products. It's about connecting people around the world, especially South Africans, because we are one of the most scattered nations in the world. If you look at statistics, there's a lot of South Africans that have left our country for various reasons, but are settled around the world. And often in my travels that I've been lucky enough to go on, I'm constantly meeting South Africans. And I'm quite shocked at it in a way, but I'm also not, to see. But my whole idea with it is to take a word that we all use, from the staff in the spa to Zuma.
Yes. Listen, Jay-Z is a hell of a character, and but for me, the biggest thing was that there was a point in time when you were doing this and you hit a bit of a wall and you didn't know should you go forward, shouldn't you go forward, and you're a very spiritual person and you were looking for a little bit of a sign, and out of nowhere you heard on the radio Yussus from a youngster in Cape Town, and if you look at how well that song did for him, it was embraced by the coloured community down in Cape Town, and it was embraced by South Africans. I know when I play that for people around the world, they love it. And, I just think that we are Yussus. So I think it's like the most important thing that we do connect with the South African people around the world, because somehow, when you do leave this country, this never stops being your home. and you really do miss this place, and you do miss speaking to people properly. You know, I know
you really miss the color of the people in their hearts, the color,
the warmth.
Yeah, I don't find that when I'm traveling. There's a certain schmark we have. Really, it's something crazy, and when you hear 1,000 reasons to complain, but when you leave, you miss it. It's a really beautiful place. It's a really beautiful land.
When I'm staying in the Netherlands, they always ask me what's the difference, you know, and I always say to them, South African people are good gees, and then they go, you know, in Dutch they call it geest, and it's spirit. You know, it's the spirit that connects every single one of us, and I think that's something that we just want to start trying to use this platform to create. We want to be able to get hold of different people from different parts of the world, and, you know, allow anybody to express themselves on this platform. You know, we're lucky enough to have this platform and to be able to make sure that this word is almost like the glue that connects people from around the world that are South Africans, and even not. You know, I was speaking to a mate of mine that hopefully we'll be able to get hold of later, Rob, who's living in China. He's been living there for the last 11 years, coming home once a year, or before the world went bonkers. And he was even telling me last night that his Chinese girlfriend says Yussus. And I thought that was hilarious. You know, I thought that was brilliant. So it's a word that's embraced.
It sticks.
And it does stick, and it's just infectious.
Definitely, like the people of South Africa. You know, many in my trips overseas, I would be standing alone, traveling solo, kind of feeling the pressures of this unknown, missing the lackiness of our people. And you just hear somebody, hey, Yussus, man, did you see that? And it's just like, oh, hello, I'm here, come, let's chat.
Definitely.
That's the feeling. That's what it does. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it was another thing, param, like all these different words. It's something that I just want us to try and embrace and use this as something that, but like if we are able to, you know, get some traction from this, get a lot of South Africans to be able to come and say whatever they want to say, you know, use this, you know, stop panicking about judgment, and stop panicking about being politically correct, and stop panicking about, you know, the one thing I feel like social media has created in this world is that now everybody thinks that their opinion actually means something, you know, whereas we all have opinions. So why don't we just share our opinions and not judge each other, and take the good and leave the bad, and try and use this to help you have a good day. Because at the end of the day, you know, you don't know how many days you have left, and try and make every day a good day. You know, so it's just something that I've just been mulling over a lot, with just thinking about talking about Yussus, and you know, just thinking about how crazy everything is in the world right now. And you know, you're probably going to get people that are going to push back, and you're probably going to get people that are going to have this mindset of, you know, this cancel culture mindset. Just God forbid someone says fuck, or someone swears, or something like that. You know, you never know what could happen, but, you know, bugger that. You know, as the pommies would say, bollocks to it all. You know, let's just be able to express ourselves and create a platform that everybody else can express themselves and tell their funny stories about being in different parts of the world. And let's hear about what it's like to live in other parts of the world. And let's hear what people miss about South Africa, you know, and maybe some things they don't miss about South Africa. And then we use those things to try and improve our country, because, you know, we should be, it would be lovely to try and improve this country, because the one common thing that is guaranteed from every conversation I have with every South African, wherever I'm in the world, is that they all agree that this country has the potential to be the best country in the world. We have the best weather, we have the best people,
the best land. The landscapes are amazing.
So beautiful. We've got the most amazing landscape. So,
but I also think why the podcasts have been created is not so much because of the way the world's going. That is one of the aspects, but it's also really because South Africans have such colorful stories to tell. When I sit with people that are not from this country and I tell them stories, sometimes other people will walk into the room while I'm busy with it, and their comment is, "What movie are you talking about?" It's not a movie, bro. That's my life. That's the life of South Africans, you know?
Definitely.
And I just think that is something, a topic that I want to bring up to the rest of the people in the world that are South African, that have left here, that have their own colorful stories of why they left, where they are now, what they miss, what they don't miss, and give South Africans the opportunity to do the same. And through this internet, through this new age, let's connect our people.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
connect our people, and let's create a community and a network, because the brand is not me and you sitting here with the podcast. The brand is the people.
Without a doubt.
And the people make the brand. And that's what I'm driving for with this in my heart, because it's not about me. It's about being the channel and opening up the experience for others to get involved and to be part of something good, positive, happy, despite everything that's going on right now.
Well, especially because of everything that's going on right now. That's for me. I've been in a dark space for a while, and I know that just sitting with my mates over the last 7 weeks, being able just to have silly conversations with them and talk about some of the history and talk about some of the stories and gain a new hobby and just enjoy that, like I said, that gees again has enabled me to start thinking, hang on, maybe there is still hope in this world. Maybe there is still a bright future out there. Maybe we can still enjoy every single day. So I just hope that we are able to allow people and anybody and everybody to be able to get on this, and say what they want to say when they want to say it, and from old to young, every different culture, just embrace this rainbow nation again and stop being so petty about so many things.
You know what also gets me is that a lot of South Africans, including myself, have had this belief and still have this belief that at some point international is better. And we've had struggles. I've done it with white trash. I locally manufactured. I was outpriced. Quality was inferior. Couldn't get it out in time. Delivery was shite. So at the end of the day, I tried that route. I stayed in the SADC region when I did Yussus, but my belief is that I really want to embrace the fact that we as South Africans are just as talented as the rest of the world. In fact, better, because of the diversity we come from, because of the adversity we come from. We struggle daily with load shedding. That's a term nobody knows in the overseas parts of the world. Load shedding.
I've had friends over here or girlfriends over here, they've absolutely panicked.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go through this?
Phone Eskom, tell them you want them to replace the stuff in your fridge. Pardon?
Yeah, that's just not going to happen, pal. Like, are you joking? Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, those are the things that make South African people resourceful, and, I look at, one of my mates, Johnny, like he was so fed up with Eskom, he decided, bugger that, I'm going to go off the grid. I'm totally going. I'm going to use solar. I'm going to get batteries. I'm going to do it all. Get my own borehole, and it creates that independence, which gives you the strength to be able to go anywhere in the world and make it. Because, again, I'm not trying to say that overseas is better, but when you do go to a country where things do work, you grab those opportunities, and they flourish. Like South Africans flourish all over the world.
Yeah, whereas some people, they haven't had it any worse. So for them, it's a stumbling block. But for us, it's like, yoo-hoo, we've got trains. Yay.
Yeah, it works. It's on time. Someone's crying that it was 30 seconds late. Are you joking? But it arrived. You know what I mean? So,
there's definitely that aspect to it. Okay.
So, if you go onto YouTube, you'll look at it like there's a whole bunch of different things on YouTube I was checking out the other day with regards to South African slang, and it's quite cool because they have different people sitting with a South African, and then they go through different things, and some of them try and get the meaning of the different things, and some of them just can't believe like what that word actually means. So like I know there was one with the Aussies.
Oh, moi.
Moi. And
moi. Mui.
Mui, and they didn't know what that meant.
They were reading it out saying,
they were like,
Mui.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue what it meant, but and then like I explained earlier about the Americans loving the word Yussus, and then there was even a Korean guy that was on with a South African black dude, and the black dude was saying to him, "My China," and the Korean looked at him like panicking, like, "What do you mean China?" And he was like, "No, it means my friend, my mate,
Like chommy.
So one of my mates, who's actually another perfect South African, his name's Clinton Ching, but he's got blonde hair, blue eyes. His dad was a famous footballer in South Africa, played for actually Jermison Kellys in Joburg, Marvin Ching. And Clinton is a golf pro, and he played a lot of, he was on the cruise ships for a good 10 years, taking all the rich people from around the world to go play golf in like the Caribbean and all different parts. But he sent something out here, and he said to me, I don't think any other English speakers will ever understand Safa slang, but a lot of my cruise ship friends will understand South African slang. For people who do not know, read this and I can assure you it'll all make sense. So it goes. Lekker by die see. My chommies and I scored a jawl at the Lani's Beach Pawsey for Mahala. We were so amped because we schmarked that place, and people pay big bucks to stay there. It's young since we went away. My sis packed us some lekker armies, nogal for patkos, but ach no man, my boetie's such a muchu. He was so busy saying cheers to the toppies and the lighty that he forgot to pack the cooler box in the combi. It made me mull because we had to kak and betal for cha. In the RV, we put on our cozies and slops one time and went to check out the surf. The guys went for a goof and the chicks decided to catch a tan. My boot was picking up stompies and he got dickback when he heard us tuning about how doff he was. He was somewhere in a dwal and saw his hut on the rocks. We got a skrik because he hit his pip quite bad. Shame, it was Einar. But afterwards, he was hundreds. Aish, some digs mates then rocked up and we had a dop and some chips and gooid some vors and chops on the bra. Yussus, but I had a bubbelas and felt swak in the morning, eh? The other oaks were still dossing, so I went on my ace for a jog. It was such a slip to pack up and vie, but I was so stoked because we had such a lang jaw.
I love that. I love that. Because I can tell you, anybody that speaks normal English would never understand that.
Wouldn't have a clue.
Kak and betal.
But again, having the ability to use any word whenever they feel like it. I remember telling someone overseas that they must be careful because they're going to get blixemed and they might catch a donner. And they were saying to me, what does that mean? And when I actually had to explain to them what it meant in Afrikaans, bliksem means lightning and donner means thunder. So he's like, you're going to lightning and thunder me. So it's just brilliant how we're able to put these words into every single sentence, and South African people understand what you mean, but people around the world have no clue.
Yeah. And another one, nogal. Nogal. I love that one, nogal. And or, nogal.
Or ja nee.
Ja
You
nee.
can't trust guys that say ja nee.
Yeah, well, thank you, Clinton. That was absolutely awesomely written. And I can tell you that's how most people speak in South Africa. It's only when you venture out and you go into the overseas lands that you start becoming aware of people not understanding what you're saying, even though you think you're speaking English, you're not. You speak in South African slang.
Last year, or the end of 2019, beginning of 2019, you were lucky enough to go on the Gareth Cliff show. And there was something that was, I wouldn't say controversial, but it was very interesting to hear what he had to say. And I don't know if you mind if I play that.
No, let's play it, because it was a year later and he was wearing the Yussus t-shirt that we had given him the year before. And he had some really good comments to put forward.
And truthfully.
And that's it.
I'm wearing a T-shirt that's got a lot of people's attention this morning. It's that one from Yussus. Do you remember the people who made this brand came in to see us one day, and they dropped off a bunch of T-shirts for the team. So
show us again. So it says Yussus.
It says Yussus, South Africa's Wildest.
Yussus.
There's nothing else.
I think it was last year sometime.
Yeah, so it's an actual brand. You could look it up. Yussus. Yussus. And go and take a look online. I'm sure they're still around. I hope they're still around.
That's how we feel about life today.
Yussus. I say that often. And people don't understand. Overseas people don't know what Yussus means because it's Afrikaans, really. I mean,
And how do you even explain it? It's Yussus.
Hey, some people get upset when you say Yussus because it's like blasphemy to some people.
It is. It comes from Yussus.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus in Afrikaans.
Correct. So, but it's almost developed its own meaning separate from that. So you really are traditional and old school if you're going to the derivation of the term, because these days people, yes, that was hot, or yes, that was stupid, or whatever it is, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with religion. It's like when someone who isn't religious goes, oh my God, they're not actually invoking the name of God. So everybody just has to calm down. I don't think, blasphemy is a victimless crime, and that if God is really upset, I suppose he could take you out with a lightning bolt if you're a believer. If you're not a believer, just let it be.
And
Don't talk
at the
about
risk-
Leanne's neighbor like that, Gary.
At the risk of being controversial, we have to remember that not blaspheming was written on a stone by a man.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so thank you, Gareth, for.
Okay, yeah. So, anyways,
Don't shake your head at me. Come on now.
No, I don't know why he's saying thank you, Gareth. Like, he can't hear you. What did
I
he
know
say?
he can't, but I want to say thanks for using the clip, for the comments,
No,
for
very
the
true.
talking about us, because it was a year later. He was wearing our shirt. He's representing. He hopes that we haven't gone out of business. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But I was just trying to explain, well, not explain, but I wanted to mention that Leanne Mole, who was having something to say about it, yes, it is blasphemous. Well, I don't want to correct you, young lady, but if you really do look at the Wikipedia definition right now, it actually says it used to come from that word. Yes, it did come from and originate from that word, from Jesus. However, it is commonly used today in South African society as a way of expressing shock, excitement, and many different things. So it's totally evolved away from it. I think 99% of the people that have ever said this word have no idea where that comes from, or they're certainly not thinking about Jesus. So
I think also, the way I see it is that the word, oh my God, the sentence, oh my God, we're using God's name in vain. That's God, right? But it's not that, because it's even been abbreviated to OMG. So I send a lot of text messages, and often I'm going, OMG, oh my God. So it's actually evolved from actually being something blasphemous, just like Gareth says,
But again, like people say, oh my gosh. So, if we're going to get technical and people go, yesus, or they go, yussus, let's, come on. Let's, like you said, let's just calm down here and try and use it for a positive. Let's bring back the positive and, again, understand how it connects people from all around the world, connects South African people from all around the world.
Said by everybody in South Africa, no matter what your culture, what your race, what your gender, it's all said by all South Africans. And often.
Exactly. Again, my challenge out there is that I would love to hear people, South African people, go through one day with while they're conversing with all their friends and not hear that word. I was at a pub the other day with Johnny again, and we had 4 guys sitting behind us, and literally 2 guys were sitting down, 2 other guys arrived, and the first 4 words that we heard was Yussus, 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 and Yussus.
Yep.
So listen, just last thing, we can go on forever about all these different slang words and how we feel good, and I think that's going to be a big part of the traction and the next coming podcast, because really there's millions and millions that we can go through here. But I think the key thing that we brought out of all of that was that connectivity that crosses all racial boundaries, crosses all cultural boundaries, crosses all language boundaries, just these common South African slang words, and the one that we love the most and that I believe is the most versatile is Yussus.
Yeah.
So
and we've hashtagged it South Africa's Wildest because, Yussus, we are a wild nation of colourful people, colourful races.
No scam.
With no scam, as you heard, people having diarrhea on set of Igoli.
Yeah, no scam, don't care what's going on. But right now we're getting attacked by Michies.
Yeah,
Gochas.
Michies and Gochas from the veld. So we're going to go and get some chow and some graze now. It's been very enlightening for me as well, because I've realized there are a lot of people that have beautiful stories, colorful stories, and fun stories to tell. So these podcasts are definitely going to carry on. And if you, like Ty said earlier, if you are keen to tell your story, please drop us a comment, send us a mail, send us your email address, and we'll get back to you with scheduling something.
Rocco's just done in his car, so we just said to him, he's on his way home. I'm just going to let him know that another time is a better time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think
we'll
we've been
sort it out
running
better.
for like, it's saying
least
now
2.5 hours.
1.5 hours here, but we stopped it a couple of times, so we're good into 2 hours.
So we're going to do it again with you, Rocco, on another time. Drive safely there in Newcastle. And for everybody else, what's it? What do you want me to call myself? Bone. I'm Bone.
T-Bone.
Tyrone signing off. It's been awesome.
And
Chat
I'm
next
Janine
time.
EP, signing off. South Africa's Wildest.
Yes, what? Yes, what?